what's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to pay cash for your car. To walk up to an individual or a car dealership, write a check or spend cash, 10, 20, maybe up to 30 or $40,000 for your next vehicle. Basically, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you get rid of your car payments. I'm going to have you save your car payments on a monthly basis so that when it's time to buy a car, you can turn around and buy a new car. That's the basic principle here, is to get rid of your car debt and start saving that so that when it's time to buy your next vehicle, you'll have the money set aside to go in and pay cash for the car, write a check. It's possible. I've done it. I know other people who have done it, and you can do it too. All it takes is a little bit of discipline. So that's the basic principle. You can stick around and I'll show you the numbers on how this works. All right, so everyone pretty much has a car payment. It is one of the highest numbers of debt that individuals, consumers have today in America. And the statistics just show that pretty much everyone has a car payment. You hate making that car payment because you know the car is not yours. You know that you owe money on it. And if you miss a car payment, they're going to charge you more interest. They're going to charge you late fees. If you miss enough of them, they're going to come take your car, and then you're not going to have a vehicle. And you're just stuck. I mean, car loans are going 5, 6, 7, 8 years now for some car loans. What's the average car payment? The average car payment is roughly $450 a month on one vehicle. A lot of families have 2 vehicles that they're paying this on. That's almost $1,000 a month that you're paying in car payments. Let's get rid of this car payment. But, you know, a $450 car payment, this is, again, a typical car. It's somewhere in that $25,000 to $30,000 range for the vehicle, over 5 to 7 year car loan. Typical interest somewhere between 4 and 6% interest is where you're going to land here. And so, again, I looked up some statistics. The average used car price is in that mid-20s. Average new car price is in the low 30s. The average loans on those vehicles are roughly $3,500 to $5,000 less than that, which tells me that people are roughly putting down as a down payment $3,500 to $5,000 because the loan is that much less than what the average car price is. And so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you sell your car. Maybe you're underwater and you might have to come up with some cash underwater just means that you owe more on the vehicle than what you can sell it for. You might have to come up with some cash to pay off the loan. If you're not underwater, let's hope that you're not, then you can sell your car, take whatever cash you have, roll that into a new car. But you might need to come up with a little bit of extra cash. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you come up with about $5,000 of cash from selling your vehicles or whatever you need to do to come up with $5,000 of cash. Now, you're going to get rid of any vehicle that you have a loan on. If you have a lease, you're going to try to get rid of that as well. You might need to wait that out, but you're going to get rid of that as well. You're going to come up with $5,000. You're going to buy a used car for $5,000. All right? Buy a used car. Again, I could show you, I've looked around, within 100 miles of me, and thousands of used cars that are decently reliable. I'm not going to guarantee that you're not going to have a problem with the used car you find. So this is possible. You could drop that number down if you absolutely have to roughly 3,000. Again, you can find old Toyotas, old Hondas that are going to be decently reliable vehicles. I'm not making promises, but again, if you're using some common sense, majority of the time you're probably going to be all right with this used vehicle. Now, you're going to take your $450 car payment. Let's round that down to $400. Just because maybe you want to set the extra $50 aside for repairs in case you think there's going to be some, or it freed it up for something else in your budget. So you're going to take the $400. You now are driving a $5,000 car. You got to be a little bit content there. You got to be okay not driving the brand new car. So again, this takes discipline. It takes actually wanting to pay cash and to stop paying interest to banks or whoever on these cars. So you're going to save $4 a month. And I'm going to say you're going to do this for 2 years. And what you're going to have at the end of 2 years is $9,600. So you're going to have $4,800 a year times 2 years. You're going to have $9,600. You're going to sell this car. We're going to say that this car depreciated. Let's say it depreciates 15% a year. That's going to be $750 a year. So that's going to be $1,500 of depreciated. So you're going to have $3,500 when you sell this car that you own outright. You're going to get $3,500 in cash. You're going to add that to the $9,600 that you saved over 2 years. And you're going to end up with $13,100. you're not going to use that $13,100 to upgrade. You upgrade your car. And now you don't have to drive around in such a horrible one anymore. 13,100. The last car I got for cheaper than this, the last car I got for 10,000 was a 6-year-old car with roughly 100,000 miles on it. And it's in great shape. It's a Hyundai Santa Fe, small SUV, leather, sunroof. It's a decent car. So you could get something even a little bit better than that at this $13,100 range. Or if you're okay driving this car and it's still going, how about hang on to it for 4 years? And so at the end of 4 years, if you skip this step here of 13,100 at the end of 4 years, you're going to have double that. That's going to be 18 plus 1,200. That's going to be 19,200. You're going to have 19,200 in 4 years. If you skip the step here, and actually, sorry, you're not going to have 19,200. You're going to have 3,500 plus 19,200. And so that's going to be 22,700. At the end of 3 years, you're going to have at the end of 4 years, you're going to have 22,700 to go out and buy a car. Now that, you're getting into the price range in 4 years of the car that you're already driving right now if you're driving the typical average used car. Now, if you don't skip this mark and you continue to bump it up every 2 years, well, you're going to have at the 4-year mark, this was an alternative. We'll cross that out. So at the 2-year mark, you're going to sell the $5,000 car for $3,500. You're going to save $9,600. You're going to have $13,100. Now you're driving $13,000 100 car. 2 years later, so this was the 2-year mark. 2 years later, we're at the 4-year mark from when you started this plan. You're going to have another $9,600 saved up from $400 a month over the next 2 years. You're going to have a $13,100 car that you're going to sell. And again, let's use 15%. So 15% a year would be roughly $2,000 a year. So we're going to subtract $4,000 off of that number. We're going to get $9,100. And now I don't claim to be great at math in my head, but I think I'm getting close enough. And so we took $4,000 off there. So that was probably a little bit more depreciation than what you're actually going to experience. But you're going to have $18,700 at the 4-year mark to upgrade to a car a little bit nicer than that one. Now, if we skip the 2-year mark, we don't sell this car and take that depreciation hit right away. We don't buy the $13,000 car, which means we take no depreciation hit there as well. And that might have been more like 2,500 or 2,000 there because you kept it another 2 years versus here. So that would have dropped you down. So from 22 to 21, 20. But you can see that the longer you hold on to that older car, the faster. At the 4-year mark, if you hold on to that older car a little bit longer, you were at 22,700, 23,000 instead of 18,000, 19,000. And so you were able to build it up a little bit faster. So the longer you hold on to the used older car, because it's depreciating much slower because it doesn't have very far down to go, it's already cheap. So you're just going to be able to build this out much quicker. All right. At the 6-year mark, we're going to have another $9,600 a month that we've saved at $400 a month in our car payment. And we're going to have $18,000. 10% of that is $1,800. Half of that is $900. So $2,700 a year is your depreciation hit here. What did I say? I said $2,700. $2,700 a year. So that's going to bring you down to 16 minus another 27 is going to bring you down to 13.3. So you can see on the more expensive car, it's going to drop in value significantly more year to year. So you're actually losing more money year to year, but you're still staying ahead. So 9 plus 3 is 21, 21.9. So you can see we didn't jump up a whole lot there, but we did jump up. This is getting you back into the price range of that typical used car that you're buying in the mid 20,000 range. And so after 6 years, you can do this. and you're you're able to go in and write a check for $21,000. Now again, you start buying this car at the 4-year mark. That car's going to last you longer, so you hang on to it instead of at the 6-year mark. You go to the 8-year mark, and then this number just shoots up even higher. Now that you've got this car for 6 years, you're in the car you're in now. I'm going to say you hold on to that car for 6 years, which 6 years we're saying $4,800 a year. 6 years. At the end of 6 years, you're going to have $29,000 in cash saved up. You're also going to have this car, let's say it depreciated in half, or maybe a little bit more than half. So let's say you got $8,000 out of that vehicle. At the end of 6 years, you're going to have $36,800 to walk in and buy a brand new car if you want to. Again, you're going to take a huge depreciation hit on that. So I always recommend buying a car 1 to 3 years old. Letting someone else take that big depreciation hit when they drive it off the lot. But you're going to have $36,000 to walk in, pay cash for a car. And so again, 6 years, $21,000 after you sell that car, $36,800 if you save it up for the 6 years. And you're buying cash for cars. You're no longer stuck. You're no longer worried about who owns your vehicle or paying interest. You're getting your cars there. Now, what if you say, I don't have a $400 a month car payment? You know, I don't have a car that's that expensive, or I have no car payment right now. What you're going to do is you're going to try to start saving up whatever you need, $200 a month. You know, so even at $200 a month, that would be $2,400 a year, which would be $4,800 at the end of 2 years. And so, you know, if you have a $200 a month car payment and you're saving up $4,800 every 2 years, then you're still going to get to a point where at the 4 to 6 year mark, somewhere in between here, you're going to get to a point where you can pay cash for the car you're currently driving that's only costing you $200 a month. Now, you know, $200 a month car payment is going to be a cheaper car than what we had in this example, which means in the same amount of time, you're going to get to the point where you could buy that cheaper car, $15,000 car that maybe you have a car loan on right now. You're going to get to the point where you can pay cash for that car. So roughly somewhere in between that 4 to 6 year mark is where you're going to be able to pay cash for the current car that you have a car payment on right now. If you're coming out of college, my recommendation is keep driving the piece of junk that you have until it dies. Save up a little bit. If you don't have a car, you need to get one. Save up for something in that $3,000 to $5,000 range and start saving what you would have spent on a car payment, and you'll be able to pay cash for your car. It's very simple. It's not easy sometimes because it takes discipline, but it's a very simple concept. All you have to do is you save up what you need to. Either get rid of your car payment and start saving it. That's the easiest thing to do because you're already used to that money not being in your budget and leaving your house every year, every month. So just get rid of it, start saving it. You'll have it to buy the next car. If you don't already have that, you just need to start setting aside whatever you want to do. You know, if you say, hey, I want to buy a $10,000 car every 5 years, just divide that by 5 and then by 12. That's how much you need to save each month in order to pay cash for it. Very simple concept. You can do it. All you have to do is be a little bit disciplined. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with your friends as well so that they don't have to be stuck with this car debt that everyone else in America has, but they can pay cash, own your vehicle. It feels a lot different sitting out in the driveway and when you hop in it to drive it, when you own it instead of the bank or some other financing agency own it. Thanks again for watching the video.